Class is in session. MLB hitting the book show Tuesday, September 16th. Ian Cameron with you, Connor Mack, in a moment, as well as we break down the MLB Tuesday card as we get down to the nitty-gritty, really, of the regular season. Less than 2 weeks left. The push for the playoffs is on. I find myself, too, in these latter days of the regular season, for a high-volume bettor, I find myself not making as many bets in baseball down the stretch. I think it's trickier. You've got certainly situations where teams have got, or we're already seeing it, where teams are starting to lock in playoff positioning, lock in division championships, and, it just makes the rest of the regular season almost like an exhibition, if you will. So definitely going to have to pick your spots moving forward. There's certainly teams that are way out of it that are going to be bringing up, position players and pitchers maybe to get a look, at what they've gotten these players late in the season. So it's just a good time of year to, and there's going to be still some really good spots, but it's a good time of year to really be selective, pick your spots carefully and maybe not pepper the board as heavily as you normally would. So definitely want to pick your spots at this time of year when it comes to MLB. So with that in mind, we will pick our spots and try to find some good edges and some good winners here on this Tuesday slate. So with that in mind, let's get into it. We will begin with the Chicago Cubs taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cade Horton for the Cubs, Paul Skeens for the Pirates. We got Pittsburgh minus 130, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This is obviously a situation where the Pirates are the Paul Skeen tax is in effect. That's the reason the Pirates are favored here over the Chicago Cubs. Now, when you look at Paul Skeens, he continues to pitch extremely well. I mean, he doesn't give up more than 2 runs pretty much in any start. Very, very tough to hit. That's clear as day. Gives the Pirates a chance to win. The Pirates are 4-1 in his last 5 starts. That being said, they did not win the last time Skeens took the mound, losing 2-1 to the Baltimore Orioles. When you look at Cade Horton on the other side for the Cubs, he's been very consistent, 2 runs or less in each of his last 5 starts. So it definitely feels like a low-scoring ball game. Unfortunately, the total is, 6.5. You're not getting a ton of value. Not 8-1 to the under, by the way, in the last 9 meetings between these two teams. They've played each other a bunch this year, and like I said, every single one of these games has been low-scoring for the most part. One game got to 7 runs. The majority of these games, you're seeing 2 1s, 3 2s, 3 1s. You're not seeing a lot of runs between these two teams. So, if you can stomach betting an under at 6.5, I'd still lean that way. I think runs will be few and far between. I think I lean a little bit to the Cubs just because, Cade Horton is pitched well. The Cubs are still the better team. Pittsburgh does have a good home record, though. We've talked about it. Although Pittsburgh has started to lose at home recently. They got swept by the Brewers. They got shut out by the Cubs 4-0 last night. So the home field has not been nearly as strong for Pittsburgh. So I'd lean Cubs. I'd lean under in this game, but I didn't get involved in it. All right, next up, we've got the Cleveland Guardians, Detroit Tigers. We've got Joey Cantillo, Casey Mize, the pitching matchup. Detroit minus 140, home favorites, 8 the total here in this game. It's definitely kind of a last gasp, if you will, heading into this game and really this series for the Guardians. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're catching any of the 3 wildcard teams, Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros. But nevertheless, they're still alive, albeit faintly, 3 games behind. But obviously, they need to win every game they can moving forward. They have Cantillo on the mound here tonight for the Guardians in this game. Pretty solid numbers, 3.12 ERA. Very, very strong in his last 4 outings, giving up 1 run or less. We'll see if he can keep that rolling. Casey Mize has kind of turned a corner, though, here in September. I think he's pitched very well. Tigers are 2-0 in his September starts. He's given up 3 runs in 11 innings against 2 pretty good teams, too, the New York teams. He faced the Mets and the Yankees here in the month of September. So Casey Mize starting to pitch better. This could be an under here. I could see it between these 2 teams. Now, the total's gone up to 8.5 from 7.5. So clearly there's some disagreement. But, when you look at this Guardians team right now, do we trust them to score runs? They've scored basically 3 or 4 at most. They've been trending under. Casey Mize has started 2 in a row and done pretty well in those starts. So I would lean under at the current total here in this game. I would probably lean Cleveland a little bit just because they need the win desperately. Detroit is, if we're being honest, playing 500 baseball the last 10 games. They lost a series in Miami So you can't say they're playing great at the moment. So I would lean Cleveland. I would lean under here when it comes to the Guardians and the Tigers. All right, next up, it is the Athletics. Sorry, it's Atlanta and Washington. We've got this is the second game of a doubleheader, by the way, because these two teams played earlier today in the first game of the doubleheader. This is the second game of that doubleheader with Mackenzie Gore on the mound for Washington, Chris Sale for Atlanta. Atlanta minus 190, road favorites in the total here, sitting at 7, shaded to the under here in this game. No bet for me here. I don't even have really a lean in this game. I mean, I'd certainly think Atlanta and Sale have the advantage here. Chris Sale's pitched pretty well for the most part since he's been back in the rotation here, returning August 30th. Mackenzie Gore has settled down and pitched better after, it's been a kind of uneven season for him. But he has had some tough times against the Atlanta Braves in the past. That does concern me. Braves have won 5 straight in the series. Braves are playing really good baseball despite being a team out of the mix. 6-0 they are in their last 6 games. Washington's the opposite. They've gone pretty much, they've kind of gone the other direction of late. So, concerns here with what we're seeing from Washington. So Atlanta's the rightful favorite. Just don't want to take them at minus 190. So not a game I got involved with there in that one. All right, we got the Athletics and the Boston Red Sox. We've got Boston minus 160, home favorites, 8.5 the total here in this game. You've got the A's who are playing spoiler over the weekend against the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, geez, you talk about kind of a surprise that the A's, did a number on really any chances the Reds had of making the play. The Reds are still alive, but man, what damage the A's did to the Cincinnati playoff hopes over the weekend, sweeping the Reds. And look, playing some solid baseball. They've won 4 in a row. This is a rematch of last week where the A's hosted the Red Sox and lost 2 of 3. Now they play each other here at Fenway Park. Jeffrey Springs got pretty much crushed by Boston just 7 days ago out in Sacramento, gave up 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings, including a couple of home runs. Not really a good start by him there in that game. Before that, he had pitched a little bit better. Still, the A's are just 1-4 in his last 5 starts. Meanwhile, Connolly Early, the lefty, who made his major league debut for Boston in Sacramento against this same Athletics team. So how about that? To start his big league career, he's starting against the same team 2 games in a row. But he was excellent. 5 hits, shutout ball, 5 innings, 11 strikeouts in a 6-0 Boston win. Now, this A's team is getting a second look at Connolly Early. So, we'll see if he can maintain that level of success. That's going to be the question going into this game. Boston lost 2 of 3 against the Yankees over the weekend in that important series in the division against the Yanks. This is another game I'm not getting involved in. I mean, I'm not going to get involved at minus 160 with Boston. I like the way the A's are playing, but, Jeffrey Springs kind of got hit around by this Boston team, and they got shut down by Early. But be careful of that happening again. Sometimes it's crazy when it's the same 2 teams and same 2 pitchers. Sometimes the opposite can happen. So, I actually did lean A's. I considered maybe taking them at plus 140. You just wonder if Boston, losing 2 or 3 to the Yankees, how important is it to get second place? It's a team that I don't know if they're going to go balls to the wall to try to get that kind of position. So I ended up staying off this game entirely when it was all said and done. And as you can tell already in the first few games, not much involvement right now in the first few games on the card. But that's going to change here. I am involved in this next game. San Diego and the New York Mets. We've got Michael King, Clay Holmes, the pitching matchup. The Mets minus 120 home favorites, 8 the total, shaded to the under. What a disaster the New York Mets have been down the stretch. Just absolutely hideous baseball. It's been a combination of things. Starters haven't been as good. The offense has been spotty. Bullpen continues to be a big problem for the New York Mets as well. That's been a problem basically all year for them. We'll see, though, if they get a little bit of a spark from finally seeing that ugly 8-game losing streak snapped, winning that series finale against the Texas Rangers on Sunday. Does that give them a little bit of a boost here going into this game against the Padres? Clay Holmes is not someone I trust right now. He's given up 11 runs in his last 13.2 innings, so not very good out of Clay Holmes right now for the New York Mets. Meanwhile, Michael King, who was out of the rotation for a bit on the IL, came back in the last game against Cincinnati. Struggled with the home run ball. It got through 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. I do think he's still a pretty good arm. I think he can bounce back from that, pitch better here in his second start, now getting one under his belt. And even though the Mets finally snapped their 8-game losing streak, I'm not interested in the slightest in laying a price with the Mets as favorites. So I'm going to take San Diego here, plus 100 in this game, favoring King just a little bit here over Clay Holmes. Padres here certainly are in a spot where I don't think they're going to catch the Dodgers for the NL West, especially when you consider the fact that the Dodgers have the tiebreaker as well. This is really a battle for the second wild card spot, at this point in time. The Padres and Mets, although the Padres are probably going to finish ahead of the Mets. Mets are still trying to fend off the Diamondbacks, Reds, and Giants for that final wild card spot, so they can't take anything for granted. But I like the plus price here with Michael King. I have a little more trust right now in him than I do with Clay Holmes. All right, we continue along here. Next up, we've got let me see here. There we go, Toronto Blue Jays and Tampa Bay Rays. Jose Barrios and Ryan Pepio, the pitching matchup here. Even money price, minus 110 both sides, 8 the total in this game. Jays pull one out in extra innings last night, 2-1, turned into a battle of the bullpens. Neither bullpen is fresh for this game, so you want to keep that in mind. So are either of these guys capable of giving their team some length? These aren't exactly candidates to do that. You look at Ryan Pepio, going into this start, and all he seems to pitch is 5 innings, 6 at most, but most of his starts recently have been 5 innings. Now, he's pitched really well. He hasn't given up an earned run in 3 straight starts. Tampa Bay's won each of his last 3 starts. So Ryan Pepio has certainly thrown the ball quite well. We'll see if that continues here tonight. Jose Barrios, where the Jays are kind of, he's making they're skipping a start, with him right now, and he's making a start once every 2 times through the rotation for this Jays team to try to keep his arm fresh as he's been battling arm fatigue down the stretch. I think it's helped him a little bit because 2 of his last 3 starts have been better. Last time against Houston, he pitched pretty well, 2 runs, 5.1 innings. Pepio's been unhittable, though. He's been excellent in the first 5 innings. So I'd maybe look at Tampa here, but first 5. I mean, I don't really want to be struggling with, money on the Rays here when that bullpen's come into play because, the Tampa bullpen has been hit or miss. The Blue Jays bullpen, which had been struggling, is pitching a lot better the last week or so. So I definitely think it could be a bullpen advantage for Toronto later in the game. Tampa, I think Pepio could hold the advantage over Barrios. I mean, the Jays got shut down by Joe Boyle last night. If Joe Boyle can shut you down, and he had a 5 ERA going into that game, Pepio might be able to have a good start here tonight. So I think Rays first 5 innings, maybe something to look at here in this one. I would want them just first 5. I wouldn't want them full game. I do think the Jays have a bullpen advantage later in the game. All right, we've got Seattle and Kansas City. Logan Gilbert, Michael Wacha Flocka Flame, the pitching matchup here in this one. We've got Seattle minus 140, road favorites, and the total here, 8.5, pretty much across the board. Seattle's on a roll. I lean Mariners. I don't love the price, and I don't love going against Wacha at home. Wacha here at Kauffman Stadium has pitched really well for Kansas City. I don't want to go against him, but Seattle's, they're a freight train at the moment. They're playing good ball. They've obviously gotten back on track. They're going to make the playoffs. They're leading the AL West right now, and it looked like they were fading out of the playoffs just a week or 2 ago. So look what a difference, a win streak can do. But Seattle playing well. But go look at Wacha at home at Kauffman Stadium. He has pitched very well. So I don't feel comfortable, going against the Michael Wacha at home. Kansas City's fallen out of the wild card. They're just too far back now, 6.5. So they're out of the playoffs and playing out the string. Seattle's in great form. I lean Seattle. But like I said, Wacha at home's been pretty good, pretty consistent. He's given the Royals a chance to win every game. So I'm going to stay off Seattle. I lean that way, but no bet for me when it comes to that one. All right, Orioles and White Sox. We've got Dean Kramer, Shane Smith, the pitching matchup. It is pretty much even money here, minus 110. both sides, and the total 8 shaded to the under here in this game. I'm tempted by the White Sox team total. This is a bet I've cashed with a few times of late. Now, the White Sox offense has kind of gone in the toilet again. They have not been hitting here the last few games. They get shut down in the opener against Baltimore last night. But Dean Kramer hasn't been at his best, hasn't been sharp the last few times we've seen him on the mound. So this could be a good opportunity for the White Sox bats to come back to life here a little bit in this game. We'll see if that is indeed the case. Meanwhile, Shane Smith's been good at home. You know, he's had some starts away from Chicago where he's had his struggles and he's had his difficulties. But he's pitched well here in Chicago more often than not. So we'll see if Baltimore is able to have some success against him. I'm not so sure if they will. But like I said, I think the White Sox, this could be a night where we can get a little bit of offense from them. I know they're not hitting at the moment. They had that great stretch where I was taking their team total every game, and they were getting 4, 5, 6 runs. And now all of a sudden they've scored 2 runs or less in each of the last 4 games during this 4-game losing streak. But, you know, Kramer's not been in the best form. I think it's an opportunity for the White Sox maybe to get the bats going. So the White Sox team total, which you can get over 3.5 at -125, it's worth a look in my opinion here in this matchup. All right, Yankees and Twins, Cam Schlittler and Zebby Matthews, the pitching matchup here. Yankees -170, road favorites, 9 the total in this game. What a terrible loss that was for the Yankees, a team that, and they normally own the Mets. Or sorry, the Yankees normally own the Twins in the past, but not last night. It was all Minnesota last night, 7-0 over the New York Yankees. And you know, I should have known because I didn't bet the Yankees. I should have, you know, but I didn't. The Twins had been so bad against the New York Yankees that I didn't even stick to my Sunday night baseball fade angle. And of course, the Yankees played in Boston on Sunday night and traveling to Minnesota, no day off. I should have been on the Twins last night, and I wasn't because I liked the way Rodon was pitching, and the Yankees own the Twins. Twins never beat the Yankees. Well, until last night when the Twins ended up winning 7-0. So I'm very pissed I didn't take the Twins because I stayed off my Sunday night baseball travel angle because the Yankees just dummy the Twins, and that's why I didn't bet the Twins last night. I should have because the Twins obviously blew out the Yankees, shut them out 7-0. Certainly the Yankees looking to bounce back, but here's the problem with the Yankees. You know, they're ahead of Boston. I don't know if Boston's going to catch the Yankees, and the Yankees I don't think can catch Toronto anymore in the division. They're just too far behind now. That I think the Yankees are kind of locked into their spot just about. So where's the intensity down the stretch going to come from? They do have one of their better pitchers on the mound. Cam Schlittler's been one of their better arms. Other than a bad start against the Blue Jays, he's given up 1 run or less in every recent start. So a good chance for the Yankees to bounce back with him on the mound. Not a big fan of Zebby Matthews. He got rocked in his last start. 5 runs, 7 hits, 4.2 innings against the Angels. He has a 4.97 ERA in his last 5 starts. Certainly this is a matchup pitching-wise that favors the Yankees, but I'm still not laying -170 on the road with this team. There's no chance I'm doing that. So, but I'm not on the Twins either. I do lean a little bit to this over just because, you know, I think the Yankees lineup is going to get going tonight. And I do think the Twins can scratch out a few runs as well. So I do lean a little bit to the over. But like I said, last night was the spot to back the Twins. I'm not sure tonight is. But still, no way am I touching the Yankees at -170. We got C-Mac with us here now in the house. C-Mac.
Straight to the computer here.
Exactly. I know, just coming back. Yeah, exactly. Just made it home from being out for a little bit, running errands. Exactly. But what do you think here, C-Mac, with Yankees and Twins?
Yeah, this is. God, I don't want to lay a stumper with the Yankees either, even though the bats have been better. We talked about Matthews last start. I mean, he saw the Yankees last month, August 11th at the Yankee Stadium at 5 2/3. He gave up 3. He gave up 3 homers. Obviously, that's the whole thing with the Yankees, and he can give up the long ball. But I got to think after that shitty start versus the Angels, like we talked about on the road, I think he could pitch better here at home. I'd be on the Twins. Yeah, I haven't betted, but I'd be on the Twins here.
Yeah, I'm not laying -170. I like the way he's been throwing Schlittler, but not at
Schlittler's been good.
Yeah, not at -170.
Well, you know, lately.
All right, Angels and Brewers. I'm not going to. I've got nothing here. I mean, obviously, Peralta is certainly the better pitcher. That Dana for the Angels really hasn't been that good. Brewers should win, but they're coasting, man. They're going to win their division. It's just a question of when, not if. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the NL. There's no urgency whatsoever for the Brewers right now. There's just better bets at this stage of the season than laying minus 260 with Milwaukee. So this is easy pass. Anything here, Angels, Brewers, C-Mac.
Yeah, you talked Guardians, Tigers, right? Just rewind it, Nick.
I did. I leaned Guardians in the under. I didn't bet either.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have anything there.
Guardians have to happen. Like, if the Guardians are going to cling on to any hopes to get the wild card, like they're 3 back, they can't lose many more games. So I kind of lean to them as a dog. Cantillo's been all right. So just a lean, though. I'm not betting it. Mize has been good here.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. Mize has pitched a lot better for Detroit here in September.
I was hoping to see this line maybe drop a little bit. It's kind of gone out to here. Some spots 145 for Detroit. So yeah, but I don't want the Tigers. I just think they're in kind of just cruise here.
Yep, I agree.
Till the end.
Lost the series to Miami over the weekend. Yep.
Yeah, so I think the Brewers. I mean, look at their team total. I guess the 4.5 is juice. Just a road start here with our guy here on the mound for the Angels, Dana, is not good. I've already faded him. He looked pretty good in his one of the 2 starts, his first start, if I remember right.
Yeah, he was. His first start was, in the last start, not so good. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who lit the fuck up in the PCL. So, but it's kind of the end of the year, like you talked about. But still, it'll just be Brewers. I take their team total here. I was looking at even the first 5. It's 2.5, little juice, but I take that. It's minus 120. I mean, you can't get 3 runs off this guy. He could go in there and watch. He pitches well. Brewers on fucking, 1-0 game after 5. So you got to think Peralta's a little bit better. I mean, he's been really good all year long. He finally got hit around in his last start. Right? He gave up 5. Yeah, he gave up 5, 2 bombs. Yeah. Texas. That was a day game.
Yeah, if you're going to take the Brewers, the one thing I will say is if you're going to bet the Brewers, take the team total. That's what I would do. All right, Reds and Cardinals. Reds minus 120, road favorites, and the total here sitting at 8, shaded to the under. We'll see with that. Abbott, I lean Reds, but I thought that A's series where they got swept was going to just take everything out of the 8 Reds, because that's a disaster when you are closing ground on the Mets for the final wild card. And then you walk into Sacramento and you get swept by the A's. Absolutely despicable. Yeah. And I think it's going to hurt. I think that's just about killed their chances. Now, the Mets could still cough up a lung, and the Mets stink right now. But still, I mean, the Reds just fucking blew a golden opportunity to really overtake the Mets for that final wild card with getting swept by the A's. Yet, that being said, and then last night, I go into that game, it's like there's no chance I can take the Reds. I don't trust them mentally coming off that sweep. And sure enough, they bounced back, and they put 11 runs on the board against St. Louis last night. So, and now with the Reds winning last night, they still feel, hey, we're still alive. There's still a chance. McGreevy, I don't trust. I lean Reds here. I do favor Abbott over McGreevy here a little bit. So Reds, maybe as Thomas says, Reds team total over 3.5. I don't mind that. I would lean in those. I would lean with Reds, bottom line, because, like I said, I've said this about Michael McGreevy forever. Don't really trust the kid. It's supposed to be good. Maybe he'll be good in time. There's just zero consistency from him right now. C-Mac, what do you think here? Reds, Cardinals.
Yeah, I was looking at the Reds here, first 5. It's a little bit out here now, minus 120. But it's moved that way. I'd rather have Abbott. I think he's a better pitcher. McGreevy's been really good. It seems like he's been good, bad start. The all right start, especially lately.
Good and bad, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, kind of early on he was getting hit around, but he's had some games where even I'm like, I mean, this guy's got pretty good stuff. And I see him and he just gets ripped. I'm like, is this the same guy I'm watching here? Like, I don't know. My eyes receive it. He's been good too. He's ate up a ton of innings. He seems like he goes 6 innings here. And this shows it kind of, there's already some 7.5s. I don't love it under here. And I kind of was looking at that when I went over this game, but you'd have to think McGreevy maybe could pitch well here. And Abbott, I like that. Like Cardinals team total. I mean, he needs to start well on the road. That's like the only thing where it'd make that like a crazy. I feel better with him at home, but he's been pretty good on the road too. What's his road ERA?
Road ERA has been solid for Abbott this year, actually.
3.
So yeah, it's around the 3 mark. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I mean I'm looking at that here. The under
all right,
somehow.
Cincinnati. I agree. Cincinnati either money line or team total over 3.5. I think those are worth a small bet here in this one. All right, Texas, Houston. We've got Merrill Kelly and AJ Blubaugh on the mound here. We've got Texas -115, road favorite, 7.5 the total. I took a shot with the over here, 7.5. I mean, I think with what we're seeing, the Texas has been hitting the ball a little bit. Houston, after a little bit of a slump, they've come out of it, started to put the bat on the ball the last couple games. Both of them went over the total. Blubaugh's numbers aren't great by any stretch of the imagination, 4.5 ERA for him. And Merrill Kelly's a pitcher I don't mind. I like him, but yet, he's a guy that, he'll go 6 innings or so, give up 3 runs. And, behind him, you've got a Texas bullpen that could give up a few runs. And Houston's bullpen hasn't been as good lately either. So I thought with the total 7.5, I think we can get enough runs to get this over the total here. Texas and Houston. It's a big series, obviously, because Texas is 3 games back of the final wild card spot, as well as 3 games back of Houston in the AL West. So after losing the opener last night, this is one of these games where if Texas doesn't win tonight, and now they've lost 2 in a row to Houston, might as well almost pull the plug in their season. Like, this is almost a gotta have it for the Texas Rangers tonight. Doesn't mean you bet Texas. Must win doesn't equal will win. We always tell you that on this show, but this is backs against the wall spot time for Texas. It's a gotta have it type of game, I think, for them. What do you think here, C-Mac, Texas, Houston?
Yeah, I don't know if they got it. Maybe. I don't want them. I was looking at the under in this game. I just think if that happens, Kelly's got to come up big here in this start. And Blubaugh, he can't go long. He just pitched 3 days. I mean, he's got to be just throwing an inning. I mean, he threw just a few days ago. So
yeah, it's going to be an
opener
type of deal. Yeah,
just an opener. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of lean Rangers and under in this game, but it was a pass for me.
Looks like after Blubaugh, they don't have really a primary listed, so maybe
I haven't seen much. Still, can they give him? Yeah. Could he go 2? I don't know if he goes more than that, just because he's only on 3 days rest.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how long he goes. But yeah, they've got him listed as the starter here for this one tonight. Yeah, Alvarez too. Yeah, no Alvarez in the lineup. No Yordan Alvarez, injured again for the
injured again,
which is a shame. I mean, his season is hard, really by injuries. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, Miami and Colorado. We've got Yuri Perez, Kyle Freeland, the pitching matchup. Miami -140, road favorites, 10 the total in this game. Very warm night in Colorado. Lean over for me. Perez has been smacked around a little bit lately. I don't know if I fully trust him in this ballpark, and I know I don't trust Freeland. So, I mean, it's over or pass for me. Sidewise, again, I like Perez, but Perez's stuff hasn't been there the last few, and now he's pitching in an environment that, not easy to pitch in when it's this warm in Denver at Coors Field. So, and we know Kyle Freeland's not someone we can trust. He's had some terrible games here in this ballpark in particular. So would lean over 10. C-Mac, Marlins, Rockies.
Yeah, I was thinking over here. This is just Marlins are the better team. I couldn't lay this number. I just I can't do it. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure, to me, yeah. I mean, it'd be the Rockies. This game has some rain. I was seeing it.
Slight chance. I don't think it's going to be hard too much, but yeah, slight chance.
I think it could just be a quick delay. It looks a little bit better now than earlier on today. And Freeland's had some better starts. I mean, this guy's 4-15. 4-15. He's looked a lot better of late, though. It's like, where were you? Early on in the year, nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
and I'm worried he could. Yeah, I'm worried he could get, maybe hit around. I mean, he's had really 4 really good starts. Astros, he gave up 3, but Astros, Giants, Pods, Dodgers, And even go back to that, he had pitched against the Dodgers before that start, on the 23rd. So, yeah, I think there could be runs. It'd be only the Rockies here, as they're 41 and 109. Fuck.
All right, next up, we've got San Francisco and Arizona. It is in this matchup here, we've got Tristan Beck for the Giants and Eduardo Rodriguez for the Diamondbacks. Arizona minus 130 home favorites, 9 the total here, shaded to the over in this game. You want to know how crazy this wild card picture has been in the NL? The Arizona Diamondbacks, who we left for dead like for the last 2 months, and now all of a sudden, because of this run they've put together, where they've won 4 of their last 5. It's not all because Arizona's been playing red hot baseball. This is also a product of the teams in front of them just coughing up a lung, like the New York Mets, allowing Arizona to hang around. That Arizona's only 1.5 games back of the Mets for the final wild card. Like Arizona and Torey Lovello's team, we left them for dead, and here they are. They can still make the playoffs. And they're playing like a team that's doing everything they can to get in. They've won 4 of their last 5. They pounded the Giants last night, 8-1. I was on Arizona last night. I thought it was a good bet there with a big pitching advantage because Gallen's pitched a lot better lately, and that guy, Kei-Wei Tang for San Francisco, is terrible, and it played out that way. I think Arizona's worth a bet again. I mean, this is some serious momentum and confidence they're playing with. Don't look now, but the veteran lefty, Erod, is pitching really well the last 3 starts. He's given up just 1 run in his last 18.1 innings. Arizona's 4-1 in Eduardo Rodriguez's last 5 starts. So they've been winning with Eduardo on the mound. So playing with great momentum. They're hitting. We'll see what we get from Tristan Beck, but he's making a spot start here for the Giants. 4.88 ERA on the season. Numbers aren't anything to write home about. San Francisco, after making a loud push here late in the season for the division and for the wild card, they're still in it, 2 games back, but they're starting to fade. Giants have lost 4 of their last 5 games, whereas Arizona's taken the momentum. So I like Arizona here, minus 130. I think they get it done once again. C-Mac, what do you think? Giants, Diamondbacks.
I kind of like it. I think you stick with the over in this game just to be safe. If Rodriguez gets hit a little bit,
I was thinking that too, because I think that Arizona gets their runs, but I worry maybe this is a struggle for Rodriguez finally after a few good starts. So, yeah, I don't mind the over either.
Or D-backs team total. Beck's going to go a couple. He's been all right when he has to go, just a couple innings of late. But this is on the road, and this is kind of the jack. I'd look to Marte. I'd look to some of these guys in this lineup, or even bigger numbers down low. You could get RBIs, with Thomas, Moreno. I'd look there for the D-backs.
All right,
they got to be feeling all right? They do. I mean, Giants are right there too. So
we know how red hot Arizona can get. Remember, 2 years ago they got to the World Series before losing to Texas in the World Series a couple of years ago. We know this guy can manage too, Torey Lovello. So that's why they're a dangerous team right now. Arizona. So, yeah, I took him last night. I'm going to take him again tonight. And I'm with you. I'll probably get in smaller on the over here as well. All right, final game of this Tuesday card, Philadelphia Phillies, Los Angeles Dodgers. We've got Christopher Sanchez and Shohei Ohtani pitching in this one. Dodgers minus 135, home favorites, 7.5 the total. Phillies with their it was quite the game last night between these two teams, and the Phillies emerged with the victory, which clinched the NL East for them. And I saw the videos, I saw the friggin' photos of the celebration, and it was a pretty raucous celebration for the Philadelphia Phillies. And for years on this show, at least when I've been talking baseball, I've talked about how one of my favorite late season betting spots is to bet against the team that clinched the division the night before. And obviously the Philadelphia Phillies clinching the NL East. Now they're locked into their spot. Now, the only fear I have is, going up against Christopher Sanchez. He's been awesome, terrific, 4-1 just in the last 5 starts alone. He's given up just 1 run in each of his last 3 starts, and he is still on the mound tonight for the Phillies. But I've seen this movie before. When you clinch the division, you have the champagne celebration. You put the goggles on in the clubhouse after the win. You're hungover the next day. You don't take good at bats. You're not patient at the plate. sometimes you make mistakes in the field. You just don't play crisp baseball when you're coming off a game like that where you clinch the division and you have the celebration in the clubhouse. So I bet the Dodgers tonight, minus 135. It's just a spot play, situational play that I've been going with for years. I just go against the team playing the next day after clinching the division. I've won more than I've lost taking teams in this spot. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers here, minus 135. C-Mac, what do you think? Phillies, Dodgers?
Yeah, I think the Phillies will be flat after that. I just under for me. The game went over last night. We saw some runs late.
Yeah, that's probably a good look too. Yeah, especially with
I think.
Sanchez.
Yeah, the full game. God, these bullpens can really make me sick. So of course, I might have to take the first 5 3.5. At least I have these two guys on the mound because I rarely like the 3.5 anymore. I gotta have two studs on the mound. I mean, I guess these guys are pretty good. Yeah, Ohtani just should go 4 or 5. He ain't gonna go more than that at all. We've talked about that plenty. So under here. I don't mind the Dodgers, but fuck, I don't know if they can hit Sanchez. I don't believe it. They've been better.
Give me a
lately,
3-2
the
Dodgers
bats.
win.
So,
just as long as the Dodgers win, I'm happy. Yeah.
That sounds.
Yeah.
3-1.
Sounds good. That sounds
Works
good.
out.
Exactly. Because I lean under too. Under makes a lot of sense. So I think the Phillies will. I don't think the Phillies will hit tonight. I think they're just going to be like, let's get this game over with. We had our.
And they're a road team that can go quiet.
Yeah.
At times, the Phillies, their bats. So.
Yeah. I don't think the Phillies are hitting. It's just a question of the Dodgers score enough against Sanchez to win the game. I think they will. I hope they will because I'm on the Dodgers. But I do lean under. The under does make sense in that game as well. Good stuff. All right. Anything home run prop wise for you, C-Mac? Anything for Jack of the Day?
Just those that I talked about with the D-backs. I think are the best price. I couldn't really get a ton more. Not in a lot of these games. Maybe a couple Brewers off the Angels.
Yeah.
There. We got some good pitching tonight. You can look at maybe Altuve. We'll see. I didn't really want to go against Kelly there. And I guess you can look at Marlins Rockies, even though I haven't delved into those props at all. You got anything?
I'll say this right now. I didn't think this was a great home run board. I do like Jose Ramirez against Casey Mize, though. Jose's gone yard twice against Casey.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
You'll have to tell me twice. Professional hitter right here.
Yeah, I know. That's definitely – that one stood out. I'm going to go with Romy Gonzalez for the Red Sox. He's been hitting great lately. He hit a home run against Jeffrey Springs in Sacramento last week. Plus 480 for him to get one. Plus 500, actually, for him to get one in Boston tonight. So I think that might be worth a look as well. Brandon Lau's gone a yard twice against Jose Barrios. So Brandon Lau for the Rays could be worth a look. Lenine Sosa has hit a homer, and we like the way he's been going. Lenine Sosa for the White Sox has a homer against Dean Kramer. So there's something to look at. And I do think the White Sox could score some runs. I took a small shot with their team total there, over 3.5. So I'm on that there tonight in that game. Sal Perez, the catcher for the Royals, has 2 homers against Logan Gilbert. And then and I like Waka at home. I said I lean Seattle. They're red hot. But I said I'm not betting Seattle because Waka's been very good and especially very good at Kauffman Stadium. That being said, Randy Arozarena for Seattle has 3 jacks against Waka in the past. 3 homers for Randy Arozarena against Waka. And Eugenio Suarez has 2 homers against Michael Waka in the past. So there's a couple guys that have had when Arozarena and Suarez that have done serious damage with the home run ball against Waka in the past. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on there in that game. Those guys might be worth a look. And then other than that, as far as the late games go and home run props, nothing really stood out as much with the late games. Overall, Phillies and Dodgers. I will say this, for as great as Christopher Sanchez has been, and he's been excellent, one Dodger that's really done some damage and had success is Teoscar Hernandez. So there you go, Teoscar against Christopher Sanchez.
Finally, a little bit showing up.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy couldn't be found.
I know, but he does have 2 homers against Christopher Sanchez in the past. So
all I have to say is he's done enough in my book. Yeah. I will buy him a drink wherever the hell he is after playoffs last year.
Yeah,
so
no doubt. Yeah,
have
a big October there for those Los Angeles Dodgers. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat just before we get to best bets. Zoe, Timothy Hake, KP, Nick Elvento, Andrew G, Thomas Maggio, Art P, Ricky Levine, Goryan Ninkovsky, Gorky as we call him, J Stone 9, Brian Elfring, Gold Jew. Appreciate everyone joining us here. Jorge Herrera, Al Gore, not that Al Gore. Don't Wake Daddy. We appreciate all of you guys
Not that, Al Gore.
on the Hitting the Book show. We don't have many MLB shows left. Just 2 more this week, Wednesday and Friday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week, and then that's it. Yeah, we'll probably do maybe drop you a little free play video or something like that in the playoffs once we get the subscribers on the channel up to 1,000. We get some of the memberships going. We might drop a few little MLB, quick videos for you, but the full shows will be over after next week. So, but we thank you for joining us all year.
You nailed it. I mean, if we get 2, we'll have like some of the memberships too. You guys want it? We could do videos for playoffs, or just jump back and either be it. You could do it however we want to work it out, but I definitely will. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, and if we can't get a time decided for us on for both of us to be available at the same time, we can just do individual videos and drop them on the channel for everyone that's a member and has a membership on the Hitting the Books channel. So we'll consider doing that for the MLB playoffs for sure. All right, great stuff. Let's wrap it up. It's time for best bets. C-Mac, what do you like for best bet?
I'm going here. A bunch of runs in that game last night because I was just going to get Brewers here with their team total. Give me, because I got even money with this. I got to have it. Give me their team total under 3.5, even money. Cardinals team total under 3.5, even money. Best bet.
All right, there you go. Cardinals team total under to be shut down by Mr. Abbott here tonight for the Cincinnati Reds. My best bet, I'm going to go back to the last game we talked about. It's the classics. Fade the team off clinching the division spot. It's profitable more often than not for me over the years in these spots. And that says fade the Phillies tonight after their big celebration, clinching the NL East last night. We'll take the LA Dodgers minus 125. Actually, minus 130 is now the best price out there. Minus 130, LA Dodgers for my best bet here for this Tuesday MLB card. Shout out to the chat, everyone there. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much on the way out. That's a wrap. And check out College Football Hitting the Books as well if you missed it yesterday.
Yes.
3 hours of college football previews. We got the individual game clips posted as well. Make sure you check that out. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We're back tomorrow on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.